Hey guys, Insomnia here with some more AFK Arena. Today we are back on the Wilder team and we are going to do a series of videos in regards to specific heroes that I get a lot of questions about. The first one that we're going to focus on here on Team Wilder is of course Eironn. Eironn we did build all the way to 9 of 9 furniture. Want to kind of break down his skills, break down some of the synergy that we see with him, why he is a hero that people prioritize building, and also take a look at the abilities in action in the video that I did a little bit earlier this week. So looking at Eironn, as you can see, he is fully built here. We do have the 9 of 9 furniture. We have all of his gear and we have his plus 30 signature item. So taking a first look at his signature item, the ability Elemental Surge, which is his ultimate ability, has a chance to cause enemies to become frozen for 2 seconds. So now with his signature item, you are adding a crowd control ability when he does his ult, which as you can see, the synergy just between this hero himself will grow and grow. The chances of an enemy being frozen are raised if an enemy is already suffering from attack speed reduction, which again is something that is built into Eironn himself, and enemies which are already frozen will no longer be knocked back by the ability. So that is just unlocking the signature item. At the plus 10, the damage for the ability Elemental Surge is increased against frozen enemies by 30%. So if an enemy is frozen and they get hit by the ultimate ability, it is going to increase the damage if they're frozen. As you can see, the plus 20 gives a 50% increase, and then the plus 30 is really what you want to focus on. The big reason behind the plus 30 is time enemies are frozen is increased to 4 seconds. So with the plus 30, you are essentially doubling the amount of time that enemies will be frozen, and also taking damage with the increased 50% from Elemental Surge when enemies are frozen. Remember, that's kind of the key thing here. Also with the signature item, as you can see, one of the very few signature items that give haste. Affects casting and attack frequency. The higher value will result in higher attack frequency and attack animation. Higher attack frequency equals more energy regeneration, meaning that with haste, he is not only going to attack faster, attacking faster is going to allow him to generate energy faster, allowing him to ultimately go ahead and use his ultimate ability faster than other heroes. With haste as well, haste does stack, meaning that Eironn and Lyca together, when Lyca enters the battlefield, she gives a haste buff. The haste buff she provides and the haste you see here, the haste does stack. So they can actually attack faster than anyone else on the battlefield, and they can have kind of the priority attack over other heroes on the battlefield because of the haste that both of them are bringing, making Eironn and Lyca a very, very perfect formation shell. They work really well together. So looking also at his furniture. So the Oath Keeper, the ability Sylvan Oath has a 100% chance to be triggered when Eironn's health is above 60%. 100% chance for Sylvan Oath to be triggered. Remember that because we're going to look at it in just a second. His 9 of 9 damage dealt by Sylvan Oath when triggered is increased by 15%. So remember, this is not an attack rating increase. There's a difference between having the increase in attack rating or having the increase in damage. Two different multiplication tables. So damage dealt by Sylvan Oath when triggered is increased by 15%. And as you can see again, the 3-piece, the ability Sylvan Oath has a 100% chance to be triggered when Eironn's health is above 60%. So if Eironn is fully healed, he is going to be maximizing his damage and doing a lot more damage because Sylvan Oath is going to be up 100% of the time, or 100% chance to be triggered. So let's take a look at that skill specifically, which this is Sylvan Oath. Increases Eironn's attack rating by 15%. Remember, there is a difference between the attack rating and there is a difference between the damage that he does. And gives his attack a 30% chance to increase his enemy's defense. As you can see, level 2, level 3, 50% chance to ignore enemy defense rating. Level 3 increases attack rating by 15%. So when Sylvan Oath is up, which is 60% health or higher, he is going to have not only a 50% chance to ignore the enemy defense rating, he is also going to have the increased attack rating by 20%, coupled with damage dealt by Sylvan Oath when triggered is increased by 15%, further making him do more damage with the furniture. Overall, I think it is very good. Not only that, is it adds, as you can see, a ton of stats having the furniture, not just the abilities themselves, but it does add a lot of furniture bonuses, as you can see here, which brings us to the rest of his skills. The opening skill is, of course, the Vortex. Eironn uses his elemental powers to generate a powerful gust of wind, drawing all enemies standing within a certain range of himself, dealing 160% damage at level 3. This is the opener. So when Eironn comes onto the battlefield, he will do Vortex, pulling in heroes that are usually in the 1 and 2 position and the 4 position in the back middle, which we'll see in a little bit. This has been further kind of exaggerated by having Skarath. Skarath has the ability with furniture to move the 3 and 5 position actually into the middle, meaning that Eironn can pull in all 5 heroes off of the bat. When he does his ability Vortex, he can actually pull in the entire team when coupled with Skarath. Very, very powerful combination that not many people have been using for very often, but it is a hugely popular build right now, is running Eironn with Lyca with Skarath to actually stack everybody up in a tight little circle. Eironn's Vortex pulling everybody in. Of course, the ultimate ability, Elemental Surge, combines both of his blades to perform one powerful blade and proceeds to hack at the enemies, dealing 270% damage. Eironn then summons an Ice Tornado, which deals AoE damage to enemies and remains on the battlefield for 7 seconds if you look at level 2. Engulfing multiple enemies, knocking them backwards, slowing their movement speed. So not only do you get damage, it does provide a knockback, it does deal damage, it does provide a slow, as well as it does provide the freeze effect with his ultimate ability. So now, again, synergy of the hero, you have an ultimate ability that's going to knock heroes back. If by chance the hero is not frozen, they're going to get knocked back, they're going to get slow. Best chance they do get frozen with a plus 30 signature item, they are frozen for 4 seconds, allowing for crowd control to really take effect. In 4 seconds in this game is very, very important. It is a huge duration, 4 seconds. Some we see 2 seconds, 3 second stuns, 4 second stuns. 4 is usually about the biggest stun that we see and the amount of time that enemies are frozen or crowd controlled. So then looking, of course, at Twin Forces, when Eironn attacks with his Ice Blade, deals damage to all enemies in front of him and also freezing them, causing their movement and attack speed to be slowed for 4 seconds. Again, with Twin Force right there, movement speed, attack speed are slowed, as well as freezing them. When attacking with his Windblade, Eironn attacks a single target, knocking them backwards, inflicting 180% damage. The Windblade also inflicts additional damage equal to 15% of the enemy's current health. As you can see, the Windblade and Ice Blade damage goes up respectively. But looking at Twin Force, so causes their movement and attack speed to be slowed. So again, looking back here, the chance of an enemy being frozen are raised if the enemy suffers from attack speed reduction. So again, going back to the synergy of the hero, when he uses his Twin Force Blade, he does an attack speed reduction, which increases the ability or the chances that an enemy is going to be frozen, which is why Eironn is such a powerful, powerful hero. He can actually pull heroes right in with the Vortex, hit them with the ability of the Twin Force, then go ahead and ult since they have the attack speed reduction, freezing all the enemies in his path while doing much more damage with Sylvan Oath, coupled with Lyca with the defense reduction that she brings, absolutely makes this a super burst kill team right off the bat. And a caveat right on top is, of course, he is the Ranger. meaning that he is getting more dodge, he is getting more haste, which further increases the amount of damage he can do because of the tree that he has, being the ranger tree. So he does a crazy, crazy high amount of damage by himself, and that is why he is a priority hero that players should build very early game. He is the first hero that I built on the Wilder account and the pay to win account. It took him all the way up to 5 stars, completely maxed him out. He is more than worth the investment. So let's go ahead and look at a battle and see just how the abilities do work together. So looking here at the formation, Eironn does work best in that level 4 spot, or the middle back position is really the priority. This will allow him to pull in the enemy 1, 2, and 4 position. So essentially the 3 enemies that are directly in front of him is what the Vortex are going to grab. As you can see, he comes right out, gets an energy boost and haste. Boom, the Vortex pulls all of those heroes together. Twin Force right there slows them down. The knockback with the second blade, Hendrik falls all the way back onto his shield. One more attack, and then here comes the ultimate ability. As you can see, most of the heroes at this point have already died. Ranger ability just popped as well. The heroes went down, and there is the ultimate ability. Elemental Surge, boom. Hits Sylvana right there in the back, taking her out, freezing her because she was already slowed, and then right to the bottom to finish out the battle. Very, very flawless. His skills in action, as you can see there, does very, very well. Looking at the damage, 23.49 million. As you can see there, his skills and abilities, the synergy that they bring to the team, is a reason so many players do build the Wilders first and really focus on Eironn. Priority number 1. If you're starting, if you're early game, even if you're mid game, late game, end game, players are still using Eironn. Build him from the beginning. You will not be disappointed with the abilities. He does really, really well in a lot of situations, a lot of formations. Performs very, very well, especially again being the ranger class, being an agility hero. Very, very strong hero. He is the hero that I probably get the most questions about, which is the reason I wanted to do some of these videos. There's specifically a handful of heroes that I always get a lot of questions. How does it work? What is the breakdown? Should I build him? What's the priority? Definitely going for Eironn first as one of the priorities. I run 8 accounts. 2 of the 8 I have built Eironn first, focusing on him as a priority that has pushed me through the entire game. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys are using Eironn, how effective he is. And as always, thank you guys for watching.